Hey book lovers, welcome back. I'm Katie, and today I'm going to be doing a summer recommendation video. Before I started this video, I had no idea how many books I would actually read during summer. I have a few here that are on my summer TBR, which I'll share those at the end of the video. But I'm going to share with you books that I've read and have enjoyed that I feel are perfect for summer. You might not think so, but who knows? So I have a giant pile here. I think I have like 15 books or so. So surprisingly, I went through my bookshelves and I have quite a few. Did not think I had quite a few that I've actually read. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get started because I'm excited. Let me know down in the comments, what are your favorite summer type reads, or what do you like to read in summer in general? If you like a certain genre in summer, because I know for me, I feel like romantic comedy is like a summer genre. I just feel that. I don't know about you, but like that's like my genre, as well as like middle grade contemporary / fantasy. I feel like I read quite a few of those in the summer as well. So let's go ahead. So the first one is actually a romantic comedy, and that's Dear Henry, Love Edith by Becca Kinzer, and I love this one. If you want something that you need a break from other books, or you need a break from whatever's going on in your life, this is it. It is funny, it is hilarious, it will make you laugh, it will just make you fall in love with the crazy side characters in this crazy kooky town. And I just love it. I cannot wait for her newest book that's coming out next year, because if this is her debut novel, Becca Kinzer is now one of my favorite authors. I love her so much. And this is definitely a summery cover. I mean, a toaster and a pretty bright yellow background, 100%. I love this book so much. Next one that I'm going to talk about is Tacos for Two by Betsy St. Amand. This is another summery, bright feeling cover. This is perfect for summertime. This is about two people. This is an enemies to more, but also kind of friends to more. It's kind of weird the way that is, but it is kind of. So these two people work in these fast food, but food trucks. They work in food trucks, and so they're kind of texting back and forth. They don't know who they are, so they're becoming friends through text, and then they all of a sudden become in a food competition, and that's where the enemies part comes in, and they don't know who each other are. So it's really cute. It's really fun. Honestly, I would love to reread this one. I feel like I would really enjoy it. But yeah, I do love Betsy St. Amand, and this cover is like one of my favorites for summer. I absolutely love this cover. Yeah, if you want summer and you want fun romance with many food references, then pick this one up. The next two, I feel like also summer is really good for fairy tale retellings. I don't know why, there's something about summer and warm weather and the birds chirping that just kind of brings out the Snow White in me, I guess. So, Dust and Shadow by Kara Swanson. So these two, I just feel like Peter Pan is kind of like, even though, no, it doesn't take place in winter. I don't even know when it takes place really, but I just feel like these are very summery reads. They're just fairy tale retellings about this girl named Claire. Wow, did I remember her name? That'd be a shocker because I'm not good at remembering names. Claire. Wow, how good is that? I remember names. Anyways, so this is about Claire, and she has this mysterious dust on her body that is very dangerous to some people, and she has no idea why she has this dust. So then she ends up trying to hunt her brother down because her brother was kidnapped long ago, and he ran away with supposedly Peter Pan. So these are really fun. I think these are great for winter, for summer. The next two is another duology, and I feel like for some reason the first like warm setting that I think of is biblical fiction, because yes, I mean most biblical, I mean the whole Bible pretty much is set in a warm area, so any biblical fiction would work. So I'm just picking these ones, which are Potiphar's Wife and In Future Famine, which I think once I flip the camera around it'll be this way. Can't remember, but Potiphar's Wife is the first book, and then In Feast or Famine is the second book, and both of these books follow Joseph. This one is about Potiphar's wife, who, if you do not know in the Bible, is the one who seduces Joseph and tells everybody that he basically hurt her, even though he did not, but you know, she was basically a liar, and so Joseph is sent to prison. And so this is all about her life, Her name is Zulika. I only remember that because I heard it the other day. But I think I would have remembered though, hopefully. But yeah, so I really did enjoy this one. This one was definitely different from her other books. It's definitely kind of like, you almost really feel sorry for Potiphar's wife, even though she was so evil, that like, it's a different perspective, and I kind of like that. So then this one in Future Famine is about Asenath. I can never pronounce it right, but I did remember her name. I just read it anyways last month, so hopefully I would remember. But this is about Asenath, and she is going to be the wife of Joseph. And this is now my favorite Misu Andrews book. I loved it. I love the characters. I loved the monkey in the book. She added an adorable monkey sidekick. I just love that character. He was so cute and so sweet. And I just love this. These are perfect summer reads. This one takes place like a lot on the Nile River, which I think is really cool. So it's got to be talking about crocodiles and how hot it is. And so, yeah, might be a good one for winter, actually, if you want to get away from the cold. So, but perfect summer reads. Next one is Everything is Just Beginning by Aaron Bartels. So I don't think this is honestly set in summer. It doesn't really say. Oh, kind of funny, but it's actually set on December 31st. So, but I just, for some reason, I picked this one up, and I don't know, I guess I don't remember it like actually like feeling cold. Like, it does talk about jackets and stuff in the book, but like I don't know. I felt like the way it talks about like old rock and roll music and just the music industry in general just kind of felt like a good summer rock band style feeling book. So that's probably why I picked it up. So you can read this anytime, but that's why I picked it up. So this one is about Michael, and Michael finds an invitation in his uncle's jacket for a party that the people that own like the property where he keeps his RV, they're having a party at their house. So he takes the invite because he knows his uncle isn't going to go. So he ends up going and meeting this girl there. And so they end up really just having a really good friendship. There is definitely like, this is a heartfelt story where like almost felt like they went through struggles and like, almost knocked myself in the face, but these characters went through struggles, and like it just felt like real life struggles, you know, like all friendships like have struggles. Like they're not perfect friendships a lot of the time. So like it just like they had a rocky road, but like I just felt like their characters together just, I don't know, I really like the characters, and I loved the music references, even though I'm not like huge into like 80s music and stuff, but I loved the music references. I loved kind of just getting together and kind of creating a band, and I guess that's why I got the summery feel. And I mean, it goes through quite a few months, so I mean, some of it probably takes place in summer. Next one is Close to Famous by Joan Bauer. This is one of my absolute favorite middle grade books. This is a contemporary book, and again, I don't know if it's set in summer. I feel like it could be, but this is about a girl named Foster, and she has, and my camera just shut off on me, so I hope that last clip was in there. Anyway, so I think we were talking Close to Famous. I hope it didn't knock me off there, but this one is about Foster, and so she has dyslexia, and her mom are kind of on the run from a bad boyfriend of her mom's, or it could be an ex-husband, not sure, but they end up running to another town. And so she's kind of like, she loves baking. So I feel like that's another summer thing. She loves baking, and so she ends up like kind of befriending the entire town with her love for baking and her yummy baked goods. So she ends up meeting this lovely older woman who used to be a movie star, and they kind of just help each other. Like she helps her bake, and the other lady helps Foster with her dyslexia. So I just really love the story. It was kind of my reintroduction back into contemporary middle grade, and I'm a fan. I loved it, and yeah, it was a good one. Next one is Second Time Around by Melody Carlson. This is probably one of her only kind of summer books. Like, she writes a lot of Christmas books, but she has a few summer feeling books. This is actually the only one that I've ever read of hers that was set in summer specifically, but this one is great. So this is about an older generation romance, which I really love. I know there's not that much around in like the romance genre, but this one is. So I believe she's in probably her late 40s, early 50s. So she's an empty nester, and she ends up deciding when she finds out that she inherited her, I think it's her grandmother's, I think I think it's her grandmother's or an aunt. Wow, what does it say? Yeah, grandmother. I was right in the first sentence. I couldn't find it. But she inherits her grandmother's little old shop in this seaside village. And so all of a sudden she's just like, you know what? I have this huge, humongous house. I'm divorced. I don't need this huge house anymore. So she decides to sell it, even though she really brought it up from the ground up. But she's just like, I want to sell it and I want to move to this seaside town and see what I can do with this little shop. So I really enjoyed the story. This is one of my favorite Melody Carlson's, probably if not my favorite. So I loved the romance in here. It was a slow, progressive romance, which I liked. Like, they became friends. Actually, they were enemies at first, I feel like, because the character Grayson, he wants the shop. He wants to buy it and build another place there. And so she's like, give me your card and I'll think about it, because she was just gonna go there to see if maybe she wanted to sell it or she wants to keep it. So she ends up deciding to keep it, and I really loved their friendship. I love that he was supportive, even though like he wanted that plot land, he was very supportive, and I love that. And like, for some reason, this front cover literally matches the description of the shop. I thought that was brilliant. It has the Romancing the Home, which is the shop name, and it mentions the bench, it mentions the 2 potted plants and the black awning. I'm like, this is like the perfect book cover. Like, you know that's the shop they're talking about in the book. So I absolutely love this. I really did enjoy it. I loved the friendships. I loved kind of the other relatives that were trying to get in on the action. So it was just really good. And yeah, this is definitely summer feeling, seaside shore romance. Loved it. All right, the next one is kind of a little bit of a heartbreaking one, but it is The Words We Lost by Nicole Deese. And this is her newest release. And this one is definitely set around summertime. It's about this girl named Ingrid, and she is an editor, and her best friend was writing books and getting published. They were fantasy books. But then her friend ends up passing away. Not a spoiler, I promise. But her boss is on her back because there is like, they think there's like this lost manuscript of her book, of her last book in the series that she was supposed to write. And so her boss is on her back to find out where this lost manuscript could be. So Ingrid really doesn't want to do it. She's kind of hit that depression era where she really doesn't work. She doesn't feel like reading, so she can't really edit anything. And so her best friend's brother comes to town and says, hey, my family's kind of having a like get together to celebrate Cece, who is his sister, passed away. And also the lawyer has a note for the 2 of us, for Ingrid and her brother. And she's like, I'm not going to go. I don't want to go. But then her boss tells her, if you don't go, you're going to lose your job, because she thinks what the lawyer has to say could possibly be the lost manuscript. So she goes and finds out something entirely different, and they find out a lot of things about their past and what went on with Cece, and it was really good. And there's references to, it's definitely seaside, like, so there's references to boating and fishing, as well as sea glass hunting, which I love sea glass and I like looking for sea glass. So like, yeah, that was perfect. And the cover is, of course, it has the anchor and like really pretty like blue leaves and the, wow, compass. That's a word. But the compass in the corners, like, this is definitely a summery feel read. All right, so the next books that I have, since they're right here, I can switch books out. So I have a pile down on the floor too, because I'm running out of space up there, are the Royal Wedding series by Rachel Hawke. So I don't know why I picked these up. I have actually not read these in years, but these are one of my favorite series. So I definitely want to reread them. But as far as like, it just felt like summer. I mean, a royal romance, it's like the perfect summer read. So we have How to Catch a Prince, Princess Ever After, and Once Upon a Prince. So there's also a Christmas one, but I did not bring it out because obviously it's not summer, but I mean, you could if you want to for like Christmas in July or something. But anyway, so these books, I'm just gonna put the front one in the front there. But I love these books. So these are basically like a rags to riches romance of this girl who falls in love with the prince. And I don't know, I really need to reread these because honestly, I don't really remember too much or if anything about them. But all I know is just a royal romance just gets me excited for summer. And these covers just felt like summer. I don't think it says like if they're set in summer, but honestly, just royalty romances just feel that way to me. They just feel like summer reads. All right, so next one is, so we're going into a little bit of a different direction for a few of these. So this one, Bridge of Gold by Kimberly Woodhouse. So this is part of the Doors to the Past series, but these are standalones within a series because they're all written by different authors, so they're standalones. But this one kind of gave me summer feels because this is all about dual timeline? It can be almost 3 timelines, but it's about a treasure hunting expedition happening in San Francisco. So it's summer feeling. We have a lot of underwater scenes, but that's kind of what geared me to bringing this one into the summer pile. It's an underwater treasure hunt in San Francisco, and it's exciting, it's fun, it's a really great mystery and a really sweet romance, and yeah, it was really good, and I really enjoyed that one. Next one, this might not be your cup of tea, but Souls of Lost Lake by Jamie Doe Wright. So this was my first book that I ever read by the author, and this is definitely summer feeling because it is set at a youth camp. And so this is I feel like one of her more creepy atmospheric reads. It's not scary, but so Ren, who works at her father, like her father is in the ministry and he works for a youth camp. Very creepy, but very, like, I don't know, I just really like this one. So it's dual timeline, and there's this mysterious like legend going around the youth camp that this girl named, I think it's Ava murdered her family in the woods with an axe, and so she is walking around carrying an axe. So that is kind of the myth going around, and then we're following Ava back in her timeline and what really happened. So honestly, some parts I'm still wondering what happened because, like, yeah, it's very different, it's very interesting. I wasn't a huge fan of the romance in the past. It really wasn't my favorite, but I did still really enjoyed it. I love the creepy aspects, the summer camp. I'm not normally a summer camp type of person to read about summer camps. This one I did enjoy. A Portrait of Emily Price by Catherine Ray. Again, another like summery feeling book. I just love this. So this one is like, I feel like a perfect summer read. It deals with like almost love at first sight, which I don't know. I'm a fan of love at first sight, if I'm being honest. Like, I know a lot of people aren't, like, they always call it insta love, but I mean, honestly, if you know someone is the right one for you, then it's love at first sight, you know? My mom knew my dad, like, Jesus told her as soon as she saw him that he was meant to be her husband, so it can happen, and I really enjoyed it in this book. So this is about a girl she's an art restorer, and she's working with this guy who I honestly thought was going to be the guy. But she ends up meeting his brother, and he's from Italy. The family's from Italy. But he comes to America to help out his aunt and uncle kind of restore their restaurant. And so she ends up meeting him, and they fall in love. But I like this one because, like, we see them get married. We see them, like, after the wedding. How many of you are getting kind of tired of romances where it's just, like, literally, like, hey, we're in love, and then at the end of the book, there's no wedding? Why is that? Like, I want a book where I see the wedding. Like, I want to see the wedding. I want to see, like, just a little bit, like, just an extra chapter to see happily ever after. But this one even has more afters. So after they get married, he ends up taking her to Italy. And it just felt like summer, you know, summer in Italy, the grand tour, you know. So he's kind of showing her around Italy, meeting his family, and I loved it, you know. I loved that, like, seeing their relationship with her in-laws. Like, I loved that part. I loved seeing, like the mom was kind of like, who are you? Like, you fell in love with my son way too fast. You're an American, you're not Italian. But I loved it. And I loved kind of seeing, like, this, like, real family, like, getting to know each other, and I loved it. It's my favorite Catherine Ray book, although I've only read a few of hers, but maybe only 2 or 3, but I definitely want to read more of her books because I love this one. All right, I only have 2 more, and then we'll talk about what I'm reading. So the next one is Under the Bayou Moon by Valerie Fraser Lussey, and this one screams summer. It's set in Louisiana. It is set during the school year, so it might not be completely summer related, But I don't know, Louisiana, it's hot, right on the bayou, and they talk about a white alligator. I really loved it. The romance was so sweet in this, and I don't know, I loved it. I love that it's about a teacher who finds herself in a tough situation, pretty much teaching the entire school there, which is more than 50 plus students. So I don't know, I really enjoyed this one. It was so sweet, and yeah, the romance was great, and the side characters are really good. There's this mystery going on about kind of like this mobster character was kind of trying to take over parts of the area and stuff. So like, it's really good, and I really enjoyed it. So yeah, definitely summery with a little bit of mystery to it. All right, and then the last one that I have, I'm leaning against my bookcase because I'm tired. But anyway, so the last books I'm going to talk about are In Search of Reprints and To Win a Prince by Tony Shiloh. You cannot get more summery than these books. I mean, number one, fairy tale feeling books. They feel like The Princess Diaries. Check one. And it's all set on an African island, made up African island. But again, hot humidity, I'm sure. And so hot tropical island definitely feels summery. The covers, I mean, come on, summery. Can we get more summery? But yeah, so I love these. So this one is about Brielle, and she finds out she's a princess. So just like Princess Diary, she finds out I have a grandfather who I really didn't know, and she ends up finding out that she's this heir to a kingdom, and it's her like trying to figure out how to be a princess, trying to figure out, like, she finds out that she has to marry a prince. Like, that's one of their rules, is she has to marry someone in order to become queen. And that's just part of their, like, it's not a Princess Diaries. But no, she does go in search of a prince. She doesn't like just say, I'm gonna rule because I'm queen. Because I feel like, you know, she knew that was the role that she was taking on. She wanted to get to know her grandfather. So she ends up trying to search for a prince. And in Search of a Prince, like, the title, it's not misleading, but it's not the main storyline, which I appreciate, because, like, I felt like the whole story was going to be about searching for a prince, but it's really not. It's more about her trusting the Lord and just finding her where she belongs and finding out how to run a country. And I just love that. And the second book is about her best friend Iris, and I always want to call her Lily, but now I know it's Iris. So this is about Iris, and Iris decides to stay with her in her kingdom. And so she ends up building this fashion school to help the local people and the local women, to help them earn funds and earn money. And I loved it. I love both of these so much. And yeah, both great faith content in both. Love them. All right, so let's go ahead and talk about the books that are summary that I'm going to read, which I haven't read yet, but let's go ahead. So these are them. Most of these are, well, no, are all these? Okay, most of these are, oops, you just saw the top one. Most of these are book review books, so I do have to get to them, but these are ones that, like, I just want to let you know, I never request any books to review unless I want to read them. Like, I don't request every book out there. I could, but I don't. I just request the ones that I'm really interested in, and I feel like you guys would as well. So the first one is actually one that I own. Well, I own all of these, but first one is Authentically Izzy by Paperbacks. I just feel like this is going to be a perfect summer read. It is mostly written in letters, which I'm really excited about. So I was going to listen to the audiobook, but I'm wondering if it would be better to read this book physically. I feel like it would. So this one is about Izzy, and she lives in the blue tinted mountains, and she loves fresh air and books and coffee and tea. So she's occasionally accosted by the love of her family, but she dreams of opening her own bookstore, which is, oh, I mean, that's a total buzzword, bookstore, right? But her love life has not been the stuff of fairy tales. So her matchmaking cousin decides to sign her up for an online dating community. So I'm really excited because I've heard really great things about this book, and I have a copy of the second book on my phone that I can read. But yes, I'm very intrigued, very excited. I found this book for $5 at Baker Bookstore, so I'm reading it 100%. All right, so I actually probably should bring that one downstairs. I'm planning on reading it soon. All right, the next one. This book, The Long March Home by Marcus Brotherton and Tosca Lee. So I actually should have read this last week. I was going to read it for Memorial Day weekend, never got around to it. So that's why I'm kind of putting it on this list. This is a book that I am planning on getting read by the end of this week. Hopefully. I'm not even on page 30. Yeah, roughly. But I am enjoying it so far, and I requested this book to review because, I don't know, I really like wartime stories, and I just feel like this is going to be a unique perspective set in World War II during, in the Pacific. Is it Singapore? I think it's, no, Philippines. Why did I think? I think Singapore, but it's the Philippines. And so I know it's going to be really heartbreaking and an emotional story, but I feel like this is a great summer read for especially around Memorial Day or Labor Day. So that's why I put it on this list of summer reads for me to read. And yeah, so I'm very excited to continue it. I am enjoying it so far. Nothing super heartbreaking yet, but I know there will be. All right, the next one is, as I said before in the beginning of the video, that I really love middle grade fantasy and contemporary stories during the summer. So I'm going to be reading the third book in the Dreamkeeper saga, which is called Lost in the Caverns by Catherine Butler. So this is the third book, and it was kindly sent to me by Crossway. So I actually got all three by Crossway, so that was nice. But this is the third book. I don't know if it's the final book in a series. Maybe I should check it out, because I don't know. But so I can't really tell you too much going into this because it is the third book. The second book I felt like was kind of almost a standalone, really. So I'm interested to see how it's going to tie in, because this one I feel like goes with the second book. So yeah, but I'm excited to continue it. This is about a girl who finds some kind of crystal that her father left her, and her father is presumed lost at sea. And so she ends up taking this crystal, and all of a sudden all these strange things happen. Like, she is in trouble with the bully at school, and all of a sudden a knight in shining armor appears out of nowhere. And so she's wondering what's going on, and then she finds herself in the kind of the dream world, and it's called, I think it's called the Dream Realm, but it just says realm. But it's kind of like this dream realm where dreams and nightmares come to life. And I've been enjoying these. So they've been good, and they're definitely like kind of like Chronicles of Narnia, like a kind of faith allegory type feel to them. But I really do enjoy them. All right, the next one that I'm going to be reading is The Best Summer of Our Lives by Rachel Hawk. This is her newest release, and I think it comes out, if it's not out already, it comes out within the next week or two. It doesn't say. I wish they would put the month besides the year. But anyway, so this one comes out this month, and I'm just really excited because I love Rachel Hawk's books. I had another series of hers on this list, so I'm just very excited to get a chance to read this one. So this one is set during the summer of '77. So it kind of is set there. I think it's also set during nowadays, but there's these four girls who are called the Four Seasons because their names are summer, spring, autumn, and snow. And so they end up becoming friends, and there's like this teenage prank that goes awry, and the seasons found themselves on a bus to Tumbleweed, Nowhere, Oklahoma, to spend 8 weeks as camp counselors. So there's buried fears and hidden secrets. So, I mean, the cover is, of course, summer. I mean, can't get more summer. And then the last one, which I'm probably most excited about, I don't want to lose all these books on my lap. Maybe I'll put them back up here. There. All right, so the last book that I'm really excited about reading is The AllAmerican by Susie Finkbeiner. Ever since I saw this cover and knew it was coming out, I think I knew about this book like back in, I don't know, January or something. It's not coming out till July, but like, I have been in anticipation for this book since winter, but I'm just so excited. This is a total perfect summer read. This is about a girl named Bertha, and she is like kind of in the era of like 1952, where like the girls, like, they were just excited to be wives and housewives and mothers, and she is all about dreaming about baseball. And so she writes to this man, because she's been playing ball with the neighborhood boys, and so she writes letters to the pitcher for the Workington Sweet Peas, which is part of the All-American Girls Professional Baseball League. So I'm really excited. I mean, that screams summer. Baseball games, baseball. For some reason, like 1952, like the 50s, like the poodle skirts and everything just kind of feels like summer. I don't know why, but I always picture, like, when I picture the 50s, I always just picture, like, summer. I never picture winter. I don't know why, but yes, so I am so thrilled. I know there's definitely, it's going to be a little emotional because, I don't know if I say it's on the back, but it says, Bertha's father is accused of being part of the Communist Party by the House Un-American Activities Committee. Wow. Committee. But anyway, so that's interesting. So I cannot wait. I have not read a Susie Finkbeiner book. I got to meet her and I got a book plate for the book, but I've never read a book by her. So I'm very excited to read my first one, and I've heard good things about her books, so I cannot wait. And this cover is probably like top three favorite covers of all time. I don't know what it is. I like the font. I like the white and the red. Like, it just, yeah, I love it. So it comes out in July, but I'm not going to wait. I'm probably going to read this, if not next week, the week after. So, because I really want to read this one. So, yeah, so those are all of my TBR, plus books for you guys to check out too, if you guys want to check out summer reads. So, again, let me know what your favorite summer reads are, or your favorite genres, if you like a certain genre in summertime. But I hope you all are having a blessed summer, even though technically it's not summer yet until June 21st or whatever it is. But so far the weather seems pretty good. I don't know why the heater turned on. I am fairly warm up here. But yeah, so it's like the 70s out, which is actually really mild and really nice. So I'm enjoying it. Haven't really gone outside that much, but I've gone out a little bit. But I hope you all have a wonderful day, and I will see you all in the next video.